This is Taking Stock. I'm Pim Fox, coming to you live from Boston, the Canaccord Global Growth Conference. Okay, when was the last time the power business was considered sexy? Tim Healy thinks so. He's the CEO of EnerNoc. His company helps commercial and industrial organizations use energy more efficiently while paying less for it. Earlier today, I asked him how he does all this. So would it be right to say that you're kind of like the traffic cop between the utility and the ultimate customer, directing traffic, trying to figure out where's the most efficient way to get the demand
to match
the supply?
No, that's exactly right. I mean, I'm not sure I've heard the traffic cop analogy. I think there's probably something there. It is about trying to be that hub. You think of the name of the company, Energy Network Operations Center, EnerNoc. So we're running a network operations center, marrying the needs of the supply side to the needs of the demand side, such that those two sides can talk to each other, such that customers can know now's the right time to reduce my energy. If I reduce my energy consumption, I'm going to save money, and I'm also going to help the system. I'm going to increase reliability. I'm going to reduce the need for new peaking power plants that are going to add more expense to my, next year's utility bill. And it's also a cleaner resource. I mean, if we can start to bring information to the fingertips of customers so that the 21st century can be not about building more, it can be about optimizing the resources that we do have, I think we've got a pretty interesting opportunity in front of us, one that, probably has a pretty long run here.
All right, now you talked about peaking power plants, and for those people who are not in the industry, a peaking power plant is what? Something that's brought on to satisfy peak demand, exceptional demand.
Right. And when you think about it, a peaking power plant generally isn't going to be a power plant that's running all the time. It's going to be idle an awful lot of the time, and then it's going to be fired up and used at peak times. But when you think about that, you say, well, what if instead of firing something up, we could obviate the need to build that peaker and instead, at the right times, just reduce demand systematically, reduce demand through automation, reduce it through advanced metering infrastructure and control devices that are out there in the field, really give information to the customer so that they know that if I reduce demand at this time, I save the entire system the need to build that new peaking power plant. And then you start to think about, well, wait a minute, if I can do that a few times a year, can I start to manage my demand in response to energy prices in a more regular basis such that I start to reduce my demand all the time? We start to drift our business model from demand response into energy efficiency, and we help customers become just more intelligent users of energy by using EnerNoc's PowerTrack platform, a software platform that we spent millions of dollars building to help customers really interact with energy markets on a day-to-day basis, and then more importantly, interact with the way they're consuming energy. I mean, I think it's probably surprising to a lot of people that you go to businesses that are spending millions of dollars a year, if not millions of dollars a month, and they really don't have the types of information technology and tools to manage that big line item expense called energy. And so what we're doing is we're giving them those tools in the form of EnerNoc's PowerTrack platform, our monitoring-based commissioning, software as a solution or software as a service model, and that's got an awful lot of running room right now.
All right, now it makes a lot of sense from the customer point of view. I can understand them using it to figure out when and where to actually use the power. Do the utilities get it? I mean, because, utilities are in the business of running big power plants, and over the years, a lot of people's compensation and a lot of management strategy has been about where are we going to build the next power plant. Do they get this idea of being more efficient with what they've got?
I think they do, because I think they're realizing that we can't keep doing it the way that we've done it before. I mean, yes, we had a nice regulatory construct in the 20th century. That regulatory construct was all about, let's just build things. And when a utility builds something, it gets to put that expense into the rate base and earn a nice regulated rate of return. And I think today, our nation's policymakers and then our federal and state regulators are learning that, well, wait a minute, we got to look at it differently. It's no longer about let's just build more emissions-spewing power plants. Let's think about optimizing the existing resource base that we have, and let's do that with smart meters, with information technology. Let's do that with regulatory constructs that you actually start to see utilities incentivized to spend more on energy efficiency and demand response than they spend building a power plant. And when we start to see that, snowball effect take place in the regulatory structure. I think it's going to open up whole new market opportunities for demand response, energy efficiency, business models that are in front of us today.
What's been the response from the merchant generating community? I mean, do they also embrace this? I mean, this is something
mixed.
that they've obviously got a vested interest in making sure that they can deliver peak energy at higher prices.
There are a couple things. One, a lot of times we're aligned with them because what we want to see is we want to see healthy markets that are functioning properly. We want to see signals that say we need to build more resources.
Like we don't need a repeat of what happened in California a couple of years ago.
We don't. But we need the right incentive structures in place. We need the opportunities to send signals to the supply side that say we're going to need this much resource, this much additional resources built in this market.
And that was Tim Healy, the CEO and the president of EnerNoc, talking about smart grid technology.